trying to become that fit person or the better version of you is not easy, right? Let's be honest, right? Going to the gym is not easy. Transforming your body is not easy. Eating pizzas, drinking beer is easy. It's just, it catches up with you after a while. But
Lewis, welcome to the podcast, mate. I know we've been together for like a week or so now, or even longer than that. So I feel like there might be potential of us running out of things to say. But
no, I'm sure with me, my friend, and I'm sure everyone listening to this that knows, we know that's impossible.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for having me. Dubai's been sensational. It's been a long 10 days, 11 days. How long have I been here? 12 days, actually. It's been a long time.
Yeah, you extended it.
But no, I've loved it. It's been great. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, let's be honest. I've come here not to enjoy myself and party. I've come here to do some business, but more importantly, I've come to work on myself and get myself into the gym, get myself eating good habits, thinking positively from a personal point of view, not just business. Not going to lie, it's been a challenge. I think you've kept me on my toes, but I promised you that I would do everything you told me to do. And I think it's fair to say that I've done it.
Oh man, you've lived up to it and more. Like, honestly, you've done way better than I thought you would out here.
I appreciate that.
Not that I wasn't expecting you to come here and like really give it some, but you've given it 110%. You've done literally every step of everything that I've asked you to do. So let's start there. Actually, I don't even think I asked you this question, but
ask me anything.
Why is now the time for you to be focusing on your health and fitness? What made you make that decision? What was the kind of tipping point for you to do that?
We've launched our own podcast called I've got to plug this, by the way. So it's the founder and the CEO, me and Christian Willard, which is the CEO and the founder of Unique Property Group. We've been doing some film in the background with James Burt, so that's coming out soon. But I've been invited to hundreds of podcasts and meetings. I'm just too busy. I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but I want to start getting myself out there. But no, this is my officially first podcast I've ever been on.
I feel absolutely privileged, mate.
Thank you very much. But no, look, let's be honest. Look, I think it's fair to say that everyone listening to this wants to look good, right? Wants to feel good. You see, I couldn't care what anyone says. If they say differently, they're lying. However, trying to become that fit person or the better version of you is not easy, right? Let's be honest, right? Going to the gym is not easy. Transforming your body is not easy. Eating pizzas, drinking beer is easy. It's just, it catches up with you after a while. But anyway, I've always wanted to. When I was younger, I've got into my fitness, and I've got like an addictive personality. So if I do something, I'm all in. And so I remember when I'd done 75 hard, I attempted it. I'd done 56 days of it, and I was quite proud of that. Yes, I didn't do the whole thing, but 56 days of me not drinking water, exercising, 2 days reading books. It changed me. I was looking at my partner showed me the photo of me before and afterwards. I was like, fucking hell, look at my face. I can swear, right?
Yeah, of course.
My face changed. My cheeks are like, and it just but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I run a big property group. I have multiple businesses. I have a lot of staff, a lot of responsibilities, and I'm 100% into my business. Yeah. And I'm, as you know, constant. And I love that. I'm addicted to it. I don't think it's work. I have a dream job. When I was younger, I wanted to always get involved in property, and everything I do now is my dream, and I love it beyond. I'm so passionate about it, and we just started. We're launching Unique Dubai soon. But anyway, that over the last years of me, I've got myself into a habit, and it's not a good habit, but at the time it feels like a great habit. And what I mean by that is eating irrationally. Because I work so, this sounds really stupid for someone that's 38 years old. I struggle to eat at certain times. Yep. I'll get up in the morning, I just won't eat breakfast. I'll go to work, I'll jump on my phone, I'll go to work, I'd get into a meeting. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't feel right. And my PA will be like, have you eaten? I'm like, I better eat. It sounds really stupid. But anyway, and then I'd leave work, I'd probably go to a wine bar, meet an investor, and I'd enjoy a couple of glasses of wine. I really would enjoy it. I'd get driven home, and I'd have dinner, probably late with my partner, and then I'd sit and watch. I do a lot of, not documentaries, so I'd watch YouTube, and I'm fascinated by all stuff like that. Not necessarily more into the business stuff. I'm following people's journey. I love that. Then I'll go to bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning, get up and do it again. And over the last couple of years, that's resulted in Lewis having a bit of a stomach and being unfit. And I've got a 13-year-old son who's my biggest why, Mason. I adore him, and I want to build a world where generational wealth, where he can enjoy life, because life is challenging, right? And I always want to make sure that he has someone around him that's always there, that's not just there, that supplies him with anything he wants, anything. Because life is beautiful. Life is what you make it, right? But life is also cruel. Life is short, so you have to take full advantage of these things. That's what I think. Anyway, my son loves football. Adores it. So I think I will do that with him. So I started playing football with him recently, trying to get into shape, but mainly just to spend time with Mason. Left work early. We hired out, it's like Goals. It's like a 5-side outdoor football thing in Woodley, where I'm based in Reading in the UK. And we was running around for 10 minutes. So I went there and bought some nice pair of football boots. We bought night footballs. He was so excited. I said, we'll do this every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. 10 minutes. I'm fucked. I'm lying on the floor like, he was like, come on, Dad. I'm like trying my hardest. I broke my leg 4 or 5 years ago, so my left leg, as you know, is in agony. I'm trying my best to keep up with him. He's 13 years old. I was like, it shouldn't be like this. And then I'm huffing and puffing. So then I'll come. Lewis, the entrepreneur, likes to get creative. And as much as I want to do that with my son, I was like, I can't run around for an hour. I just can't, physically can't. It sounds bad, right?
Yeah, mate, like for anyone listening to this, because there'll be a lot of people resonate with that as well.
Yeah.
Because they're listening to a podcast about fitness. For anyone listening to this that is 38 years old,
correct,
or in their 30s or 40s, like it shouldn't be that way. It doesn't have to be that way.
I'm not 40 yet. My business partner keeps saying that. I'm 40. I'm close to 40. Stop saying that.
Round it up. We'll round down. You're closer to 30.
So just to be clear, I'm 38.
Yeah.
38 years young.
But anyone listening to this that is in that same position that you are right now, or a few weeks ago when you were playing football and that kind of had that revelation, I think it is important to say like that isn't normal. You shouldn't be there.
It's not, no.
I think it is becoming the norm because we're as a nation and as internationally we're becoming more unhealthy. But life shouldn't be that way, and you're making life really fucking hard for yourself. Like it's difficult. It's difficult to be out of breath when you run around for 10 minutes. I've been there before. I understand it.
I think the challenge is like when you're in these habits, and it's not, and also as well, it's your mindset, right? Let's be honest. But it's also the people you surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with people that do what I do, it's normal to go to the wine bar after work and do that. Because the people you're with go, Lewis, it's fine. Just go for another glass of wine, relax, go do that. It's so easy because you're just lying to yourself, aren't you? Really. But no, I knew that was not the main reason. That was the iceberg. I always wanted to get fit. Do you know what I mean? I'm embarrassed now that I do, because I've been so busy at Unique. I'm doing a lot more filming. So, for example, our media division. So in Unique Property Group, we can get onto that in a second if you need to. We have a large property group based in the UK. It's been going for many years. I'm very, very passionate about it. My son actually come up with the name Unique. And,
I love that.
And it's the same company since day one. We've not changed it. It's been challenging. It's not. I don't think we're very successful, but I don't think we are. Personally, I like to think we just started. But we turn over some good money, and we offer nothing but value to our clients, and I love it. I'm surrounded by a lot of people. We probably have 40 plus staff in a 7,000 square foot HQ, branded up Unique, and we sell hands-off investments, or we connect them to our developers. It's all branded up ours. Everything we do is unique. Excuse the pun. You can't buy it online. It's not. It's in the property world. I mean, I suppose this is for probably another podcast, but we do things differently than most people, and we're probably copied by most of the industry. It works well, and we document that on social media. Most people that listen to this that know me know that you can probably tell from my stories on social media with Lewis ADHD. I like sharing everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is what it is. It inspires people. Some people don't like it, some people hate it, but they still keep watching, right? So, but no, it's going back to it. It's the point I'm trying to make. As you can see, how Lewis waffles on and doesn't get to the point.
I love it. You get so much more information, mate.
But it's like when I turn up to a meeting with Christian, which is my business partner, who I adore, by the way, and I want to look fresh. Yeah. Like, and he wears nice clothes, and I was like, well, I want to start wearing nice clothes. I've got this black T-shirt on. I've got about 30 of them. Yeah. I shop in Boss just kind of like their clothes. It's quality. I realise if you wear darker clothes, you look a little bit more skinnier. So I've got 25 of these T-shirts in large, extra large, extra large, because my weight goes up and down. Yep. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a raging alcoholic. It's mainly alcohol. I'd like to think I did until last week. Thought I ate well until I was here this week with you. Like the little things, like because I was like, I eat salads all the time, do that, realising that I actually don't eat well.
Yeah. So just for anyone listening to that, like not to demonise a salad, like salad generally a good choice, right?
Do love a good salad.
What Lewis was doing was eating like a chicken Caesar salad for lunch or dinner every day. Is that right? Is that correct? Yeah. So chicken Caesar salad, again, not necessarily like a bad food, but the dressing that they put on it and in a lot of restaurants can have a ridiculous amount of calories on. So a very simple change that we did for Lewis as soon as he got into Dubai was just like educating him around where those calories are actually coming from that could potentially be ultimately going into your lifestyle. It's
difficult tracking calories, right? I've never, I think I've done it with you before about a year ago. And for sure. Yeah, it wasn't for me. But then, look, I got myself into, right, let's not have, I'm not a massive fan of a fry-up because you eat a fry-up and you just want to lie down for an hour and you're dead, right? But then I thought, well, I'll go to David Lloyd Gym. Let's be clear, I go past the gym and look at the spa, sit in the spa. I'm not going to lie, I don't pretend that I do.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Lewis has changed. But no, I'd sit there after going to the spa. I like going to the spa. It makes you feel good. And I like to network as well. There's lots of investors there, and investors everywhere. That's another podcast. But then I'd sit there and have 4 bits of bacon, on its own with scrambled egg and beans, and I thought that was okay. But then the way they're cooking it in oil, etc., then I'd have that. Then I'd have a can of Monster, and then I would think because it's 0% calories, it's okay. Then I'd have a Red Bull in the afternoon. Then I might have a salad. It's just very ad hoc. There's no plan to it because I'm not tracking it. You think like, do you know what, I've ate well today? I mean, you probably haven't. And then I might have a can of Coke in the afternoon. But the biggest thing for me is it's just been the alcohol, to be honest with you, because it's a funny story, but I used to drink a lot of lager, like in pints. You could down them really quickly. And then someone, I can't remember who it was, but someone said to me, why don't you have a glass of wine? If you drink wine, it's less fattening than beer. Funny enough, that wasn't the actual case. And I then started to enjoy wine. But because I was so used to like necking beers all the time, because you can easily gulp into a glass of wine. And then like Christian would explain to me after many, many years later, I met him a few years back, and it was like, you need to enjoy the wine.
You meant to sip on it.
And there's Lewis was like downing it. It was like
down it all in, eh?
And but no, it's very easy, right? 4 glasses of wine is a bottle of wine, right?
Yeah.
And then it's so easy to go through a bottle of wine, then go on to your second bottle of wine. And I'd like to think that there's a lot of people listening that relates to, right? Yeah. Because I know a lot of people around me that so easily get involved in that trap. And then all of a sudden, if you do that every single day, that's a lot of fucking calories.
For sure.
Add that to some unhealthy eating, then
yeah,
you get a bit fat.
With the alcohol, it's not just the calories as well. Like it's the decision.
It's what you do afterwards.
The decision that comes with the alcohol. Like I know, even after like 1 glass of wine for myself or 1 beer,
you go raid the food cupboard.
I'd want to raid the food cupboard, man. And the next day, I'm like a little bit more lethargic. I'm like, easy option. Let's just stop at the shop and get whatever. So, yeah, it's definitely not. It's the like first domino, right? That glass of wine,
Correct.
And then it leads on to everything else.
It just tastes so good, right? If you drink the right wine.
Oh yeah, it does.
Don't get me wrong. If you drink the cheap shit from
Lambrini,
whatever, Tesco's, there are other supermarkets out there, then it'll give you a raging headache the next day. But if you drink some of the fine wines out there, exceptional. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Mate, I spent 2 months in Porto at the start of 2023.
Nice.
The wine there. we're going on to a wine podcast now.
We're not a wine connoisseur. But no, it's so easily done. And then all of a sudden, like someone said to me the other day, you've built an empire that you should be incredibly proud of. We turn over millions and millions, life-changing stuff. Our investors get better returns than they do anywhere else. We love it. And we're now on a wealth-building mission. And it's like someone said to me, I know it was you that said this. He was like, if you could do what you've just done, pretty much hungover.
It baffles me, mate. What you've done when drinking a bottle of wine a night baffles me. I don't know how you've done it.
I've just got used to it. I don't feel, I'll be honest with you, it's not like, because I sit and drink on my own, I don't feel like I'm out on the piss.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like, I've not been out with like a big group of people, because I work so hard. There's certain things you have to cut off in your life. And that's not on whoever you've cut off. That's being an entrepreneur, right? You have to keep growing and growing and growing. Some people won't keep up with you or don't want to keep up with you. But I have not been out with a big group of people in over 10 years. I mean, I can't remember the last time I did that. I don't really enjoy it anymore. I miss those times because there's some really good people. But it's like, I don't feel like I'm going out on the piss as such, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you've still drunk the same amount of alcohol. You might be watching a documentary on fitness or watching a documentary on cars or entrepreneurship or how to do this. And I get a lot of it's funny because I get very, very creative once I've got a bit of wine inside me. And I think a lot of people will understand that as well. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs that say their ideas come to them when they've had a drink in the evening. And that was my biggest one of my concerns, like I said to you, not that I want to stop drinking because I'll have no ideas. Because I'm one of the most creative people I know. And most people around me would because of my ADHD, I don't know how it is. I see things that most people can't.
Yeah.
And what I struggle to realise is, and I don't mean this in any disrespect to anyone, it's like, why can't someone else see that? Yeah. I don't think I'm special, but someone says to me, Lewis, look at it like you're Superman in the way that you think. I'm like, really? Just people can't see that. So here's a problem, and I'll come up with a solution straight away. Yeah. I like to think that I can come up with solutions before the problems arise, because I taught myself that in my corporate career many, many years ago. But I'm surrounded by whiteboards. I'm dyslexic, and I used to be really, really, really concerned about it to a point where I would hide it. I couldn't really give a fuck. If you make a judgment on me because I can't spell, then I don't want you in my life.
Yeah.
See you later. But I've had some challenges, and I still do. But I have whiteboards all around me in my office. I have a social media manager, for PAs, acquisition directors, marketing teams. So I have an investment centre. In that investment centre is a sales floor, all investment advisors. Everyone's employed by us directly. Very proud of it. There's 20 of them-ish. Sales managers, sales directors. We have a compliance and legal teams, so compliance managers, admin staff. We have a property acquisition director and her teams, and the property managers, property sourcers, you name it. I've built this all around everything we do as an organisation. Most of my investors buy into us as unique, and they can see behind the scenes. And I like to think when I put stuff on social media, like most of my investors reach out and go, I fucking love this, love you, because they can see what we're doing. We're not just a normal company, excuse the pun, we're unique. We will go to war for our investors, but also for us. It's not been easy. We've had COVID nearly wiped us out. COVID gave us nearly one of the worst names in the industry because we were ripping people off. There was no bookings, so Airbnb, that sort of model. Where there's no bookings, there's no money. The world's come to a lockdown, and it was Lewis Hall's fault. It was Unique's fault.
How did that feel when it came down on you, and you had that reputation, like you say, of becoming that name in the industry?
I think this is probably for a different podcast, but I'll answer the question. Fucking awful.
Yeah.
Fucking awful. Most of the decent investors still invest with me today. And I mean this with the greatest respect to anyone listening to this. I think we took on all the wrong investors. We would just take on anyone at the time. Yeah. But what a lot of people don't realise is in the background, and I take full responsibility for anything that Unique has done and will do in the future. And I'm very proud of that. I've done nothing wrong, and nor has anyone. Unfortunately, in COVID, people were dying. Millions of people died. It was a fight to survival, right? And there was us fighting to survive, worrying if we're going to die and catch this disease, and try and survive the business and try and make people money.
Yeah.
And we were trying to make people money with Airbnbs and hotels. So I'm fucking up against, what was it? You're up against anyway.
Rock and a hard place.
There you go. Yeah. There's a good analogy. I had to put on a brave face. I had staff in tears every day because they were getting abused by people. Where's the bookings? Where's the bookings? We're not allowed to have bookings. Or why don't you put NHS in there? People don't realise we had 1,000 properties. We didn't have 5. We had 1,000. Yeah. So we'd done everything we could, and we nearly lost everything. I couldn't afford to pay the staff, so I sold my watches, and no one saw any of this. I sold all my cars apart from one. I had to drive. I sold a house. I was proud that I bought a house, me and my partner, and we had to downgrade into one of our one beds in Kennet Island in Reading. It's fucking awful. Beautiful place to live, but not what I was used to.
Yeah.
My lifestyle changed overnight, and it was, and so did everyone's. I'm not here to, do you know what I mean? I don't want anyone's
sympathy. Or,
there you go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People died.
Yeah.
I know people that aren't here anymore, and it's sad, and it's. I think it shook the whole world. There was billion-dollar hoteliers went under. And then there's Lewis Hall running Unique Property Group, or Unique Apartments UK is our official name, or it was, we changed it, but it's the same company. And it was just like, hang on a minute, these companies are going under. Yeah. I'm sure it was done for they didn't want to lose money, so they'd shut the companies down and probably come back in a couple of months' time. Well, I didn't have that luxury, I didn't want it. I'll be honest with you, my accountant said, shut everything.
Yeah.
Shut everything. I was like, fuck that, no. I just wouldn't do it. And so yeah, we sold everything, and no one, and I sold everything to pay the staff. I never paid myself for 8 months. We were borrowing money off Kelly's mum just to get milk and stuff like that. It was fucking horrendous. And that's why I say to everyone, if you believe in yourself, you can do anything. And when you go through places like that, you'll find yourself. You'll find your feet, and you'll find your strengths. It's not easy, but it's how you get back up and you keep going through it. It's not going to be, everyone is not always going to want you to win. Yep. It's like in the UK, right? And I mean this with a great respect to everyone in the UK. It can be a shit place to operate. The government isn't the best. You set up a business, and they just pull your pants down and rape you for taxes, and then you spend money and they tax you on that, and then the money that I generate, which is millions. It's crazy the amount of money they take off us. But you come to Dubai and you're a nobody, but you're inspired. Everyone's so nice here. Everyone wants to see you win. In the UK, everyone wants to see you lose.
100%. It's a different mindset here. I think I always use the crabs in a bucket analogy for the UK. Is no one, even people that you think would want to see you win, secretly they don't want to.
Yes.
And they kind of hide it.
It's sad, right?
It's sad.
I understand it, because I used to look at some people and go, but I like take inspiration.
Yep.
Like there's some people in the property industry that I look at and go, wow, yeah, I could do that, and I did it. But I look at that as inspiration. I've got a thing, right, for anyone listening. If I can do this, everyone listening, if I can do what I've done, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Literally anything you want to do. Look at Elon Musk. He's not a rocket engineer. He's not a scientist or whatever you call it. But guess what he does? He employs people. And I learned that a few years back. So what I then do is, I'm not a very good CEO. So I employed a CEO.
Yeah.
I'm not very good counting numbers, and I'm very good at making money. I'm very good at keeping it. But all the tax stuff and stuff like that, so guess what? I've got an accountant. I'm not very good at maths. Well, guess what? I've got a calculator. I'm not very good at reminding myself shit. So guess what? I've got a PA. And when you start learning stuff like that, you outsource the shit that you can't do. You could do anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking anything. But no, just to end it, COVID was not a nice time. And I don't want to sit here and act like I'm the only one, because it affected the whole world. But there was a lot of people that we shouldn't have took on as clients, didn't understand what they were getting involved in, and rightly so. Do you know what I mean? I can't blame them for being angry, because I'd be angry. And look, it's not about me, but I launched 68 units a week before lockdown come. I lost £250,000. My missus went mental. Said because on bit paper I was going to make 80 grand a month. Yeah. No, sorry, 80 grand across 2 blocks. So it was 40 grand for me. It was like a JV. So I'd make £40,000. Obviously, you pay your taxes, etc., etc. £40,000 every single month for 3 years for a £250,000 risk. I'm in. And guess what? Lockdown come. But not only did I lose my investment, because it was in furniture and rents and stuff, the developers on the phone, Lewis, well, you just done this deal. So we had a lot of issues that developers and landlords, rightly so, where's my rent? Well, there's no one in there. That's your problem, because that was our problem of our contract. So we had to renegotiate, and there was, you were doing a lot of work to save what the work you've already done, if that makes sense. Yes, yeah. So it was like going to war each day, and there was no benefit to doing it. And it was tough. A lot of our investors thought, you know what, fucking fair play to you. And like I said, a lot of the investors we just shouldn't have took on. But unfortunately, it gave Unique a bit of a bad name, because you got the keyboard warriors online. I got ripped off from Lewis Hall, because what they were doing was going, well, I paid a £5,000 sourcing fee as an example to go and get a property. It cost me 10 grand to get the apartment up and running. I lost my rent for a year, so I got scammed for 24 grand. And it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? So
for sure.
Let's leave it there. Do you know what I mean? It's all positive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you say, COVID affected anyone. Like looking back at it now, it's just a weird ass time, man. Like really weird. Can you imagine that happening tomorrow? I'd be fucking.
But do you know what? And I'm not gonna, because I think it would be very unethical and sad of me to say I'm glad it happened, because the fuck it wasn't glad it happened.
I completely get that.
But what I'm trying to say is, and I'm not the best with words, so bear with me. The shit that you learn about yourself then, like wow, like
definitely. I wouldn't be a coach if it wasn't for COVID. That's when I left my full-time job as a quantity surveyor.
I think a lot of people, and do you know what? And I'm not going to sit here and slate the government for their taxes and X, Y, and Z. Mr. Sunak is in his bounce back loans and stuff like that. I'm not going to lie to you. We took 3 of them. We had to. Yeah. But guess what? They went like that. I remember saying to my accountant, "Where's it gone?" It was gone straight away. If we wouldn't have had that, and some of the help in the background, so we were not paying VAT, etc., and delayed payments, and they were helping us, and I'm forever grateful for that, because if they wouldn't have done that, and the local council with some small grants and stuff, I'm not going to lie, we took them, but we paid them all back. We would have probably gone under again, so that was stage 2, because it was like the second COVID. The biggest challenge with COVID, right, I think it's fair to say everyone would relate to this, is no one knew how long it was going to last. How long did it go on? Was it a year? Was it, how long? I think it was...
Oh, God, don't remind me. It was like a year, and then it was another few months, and then it was another few months.
But listen to this.
Kept coming and going.
This is typical Lewis Hall, right? And it's, at the time, I wanted to protect all of my investors. I didn't have a lot of people around me. At the moment, I'm surrounded by some very, very, very entrepreneurial people. I have my business partner who has a wealth of knowledge in the world of property, banking, and all of that. And he's one of my good friends. I have James Burt, who's an actual podcast expert. He launches podcasts for entrepreneurs all across the world. And I talk to him more times than I talk to my partner on a daily basis. I have some, like yourself, I'm just surrounded by some really good people. Yeah. In COVID, I didn't have that. So I made a decision. I thought, so we all come out of an office before COVID. We didn't know what we were going to do. And then because we didn't know when COVID was going to stop, I saw an opportunity. Everyone was handing back. So we had thousands of Airbnbs, and we would rent properties and rent them back out. So rent-to-rent service accommodation. My background is accommodation. It made sense. So you rent a property, put it on Airbnb, charge X, Y, and Z. You pay the rent, you pay your bills, you keep your profit. It's good business. A lot of people turn and say, "Oh, rent-to-rent's scummy." It's a stepping stone to get into property. But what they don't realise is rent-to-rent's been around. It's just a term, right? We took advantage of that for years and made millions. Rent-to-rent is just it's a commercial lease agreement. Yeah. The Holiday Inn is the biggest rent-to-rent company in the world. They turn over billions. So yeah, it's not as bad as what people think, but it's how you use it. If you don't do it, if you do it and it's unprofessional, and you're doing it in a block of flats where the lease doesn't allow it, the mortgage doesn't allow it, blah 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 blah, you're just doing things unethical. That's why I don't like people that train stuff, because then most people talk shit. But anyway, I'm going off the subject again. Business is about supply and demand. Any business in any industry is about supply and demand. If there's a supply, if there's a demand, get the supply. And lots of people overcomplicate business. So many people, most accountants overcomplicate business. The HMRC overcomplicates business. It shouldn't be complicated, right? Anyway, so I thought there's thousands and thousands of Airbnbs. Everyone's giving them back because of COVID. The world's going to come back. Guess what? Because of COVID, people are starting to use Booking.com and Airbnb more. So the awareness of those short-term letting sites went up. Then all of a sudden I thought, so if the demand is going to be higher than what it was, the supply of the properties is less. So I went, right, let's go and take on shitload of properties. Let's go take on a call centre. Let's put load of staff in there and let's roll the dice. My accountant said to me, "You're fucking bananas, mate." And my missus, I was about to say at the time, it's the same partner. That was rude, wasn't it? I do apologise. Kelly, I didn't mean that to come out like that and I get told off for that. I remember,
cut it.
no, leave it in there. I remember saying to my partner, "I've got an idea," as you do. She said, "Okay, what one now?" I said, "I'm going to get a call centre. I'm going to save the day. I'm going to save all my investors." "How the fuck are you going to get a call centre?" "Well, I haven't figured that bit out yet." But so the vision was to have, are we good for time?
Yeah, we'll go up.
So this is something I'm quite proud of, even though it failed. I've got no issues with explaining this. And it didn't fail at the time. It worked. The long-term longevity of it failed. So my plan was to, we were managing properties all across the country. We were in Reading and we smashed it. We delivered results that were out. If we're going to do anything, we're going to go above and beyond, right? We were delivering results that no one else could deliver. But when we were managing properties in Newcastle, we had issues everywhere, like you do, because you're not on the ground, right? So then we went, funny story, I won't say their names. We then went to the largest management companies out there. Nothing but issues. They were worse than us. Our investors hated them more than they hated our management. But our plan was to outsource it. And at that point, I gave away hundreds and hundreds of properties over a 2-year period, thousands you're talking. And I felt like I'd failed at the time, but I learned I can't do everything. You're stronger together to grow together with other people. So that's what we did. So then I come up with an idea, hand over everything to a management company, go and get a call centre. In that call centre, we're going to get a load of staff. They're going to be on the phones, trying to get bookings, just trying to help with stuff. But we didn't hand over. We handed over to management at the end when it went wrong. So we had guest speakers, checking people, and it was working. Because of COVID, I like to build relationships. I'm very connected, as you know. I have connections in every industry out there because I am who I am. People get on with me because I don't talk shit. I tell you what it is, and I'm very good at building good connections here in Dubai, Spain, America, you name it. I know people, and I'm very proud of that. And guess what? That helps Lewis's business thrive and survive in any issues. But anyway, I had this idea, and it worked. I fucking loved it. So I went to Regus, which is the whitewashed offices that you can rent all across the world. Fucking expensive, by the way. And I said, "Look, how many people are in this building?" They said, "None. Everyone's gone because of COVID." One of the big clumps just left. And it was they had 8 offices all put together and they'd knocked all the walls down and it was ginormous. And then I remember, how much is it? 30 grand a month, 37 grand. So I was like, my plan's fucked. Because my plan was to get a call centre. Apologise for my language, by the way. I don't like to swear.
Mate, if I had to apologise every time I swear on this podcast, it would just be apologies.
It just comes out. Anyway, I want to get to the point because I'm waffling. So my plan was, bearing in mind, so we have a serviced accommodation. So we have a serviced accommodation rent to rent, by the way. Anyone listening to this, is not a property business. It's a hospitality business.
Yep.
You're operating like a hotel. You're not a property entrepreneur. The property's the vehicle. People don't understand that. So anyway, my plan was we can get the properties, right? We can source properties. That was easy for us. Walk in the park. Still is now. We source thousands each month, but now we keep them all. So back in the day, we'd sell them all. Now we keep them all. I'd never thought I'd be in that position to do so. The transition from that to that cost us a fucking lot of money.
Yeah.
So we had to put £1 million in the bank, and then my business partner evolved the business, and now we keep everything. We still sell investment deals, but the properties that we source now is for our own operations. Yeah. Every property comes in our name. So we used to sell, let's say for example, you're the investor, we'd sell you a deal, we'd go get a property that was a rental agreement in an area that had high demand, and a management company said, yes, go get this in this area. Mm-hmm. We'd get it, the teams would furnish it, we'd charge you a fee, they'd manage it, on to the next one. That's how it worked, right? But we had a big group around it. So what we then do is, I said, right, let's get 10 people on the phones doing bookings, let's get 5 people ringing the guests, checking them in to get 10 out of 10 reviews. And we'd done that for a couple of months. But then it just didn't work out because we were targeting the NHS, targeting contractors. Don't get me wrong, it worked at the time, it just wasn't sustainable. So then we handed everything over to a management company, and I felt like I failed a little bit, but I took a step back, we rebuilt the business, what was our strengths, we played on that, and Unique went again. And yes,
there's so much to be proud of in your journey, man. Like so much resilience in there, so much bounce back ability. There's a lot of.
It's not been easy.
Yeah, but it never is it? Right? Like,
well, I've got this saying that me and Eve, my head of social media marketing, I tell her every day, and I only tell her because I'm telling myself at the same time. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
100%. Same with getting in shape. If it was easy, everyone would be ripped. Like,
it's like being here with you this week. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been been fucking challenging.
Yeah, but
my,
worth
my,
it, right?
my body feels like it's been abducted by a gym freak and thrown out of a train at 100 miles an hour and dragged up a fucking mountain.
I mean, it kind of has.
then-
Number one, I abducted you from the UK to Dubai. Number two, I literally took you up a mountain. So those things are true.
And I was about to say, and it feels like I've been dunked in the Atlantic, the Atlantic. Is it Atlantic? It is, for 15 minutes. But do you know what, right? I've got, I don't know if you can tell or whoever's listening to this, but I've got ADHD. I would never have this conversation with fucking, let alone talk about it on a podcast. I don't give a shit. And some of the best entrepreneurs in the world have ADHD.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like talking about it only because I don't want to be, I'm Lewis Hall. I'm not better than anyone.
Yep.
I'm only better than the old Lewis that Lewis used to be from years ago. You're not better than anyone in this world. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't want to be classed as something like you're that or you're this or you have ADHD. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind talking about it. I used to be really embarrassed about it. Really embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like my stutter sometimes, being around you, right, and I can't get a word out. I get so angry with myself.
But it can be a superpower, like you say as well. It can be a superpower.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it can put you in hyper focus, right? Or it can put you in scatter mode. Where you just
Well, I mean, look at this, right? And this is something I'm proud of. Everything that we do at Unique, everything is done by us. The whole idea of the products themselves. So we'll go and get, right, there's a management company, there's a property, there's that. We put multiple strategies together, me and my business partner, on a whiteboard, and then we go to the marketing team to, well, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you do that? And then we turn over, it's not how much you turn over, right? If you could come up with an idea and sell something, you make £1, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
So most people have not got the ability to even do that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people I know, even grown-ass men, can't go and make £1.
Yeah.
They can go to a job, they can go get a work. That's not making money. Do you know what I mean? You're being paid for your time. That's a job, right? But I mean this with respect, and I don't mean to be harsh on anyone listening, but
yeah, the world needs those people as well.
100%, mate. Entrepreneurs create wealth, right?
Yeah.
And the wealth needs us. Look at the government. The governments need us. The economies need us. Look at the economies that we support. But the point I'm trying to make is it's very powerful to come up with an idea, have a vision, and then put that into fruition and just watch it go. Like some of the things we're doing in Dubai, we come up with a plan a year ago, and I've got investors lined up to buy. I don't want to go into it because we've not launched it yet, but it's exciting. As an entrepreneur, don't get me wrong, and I'm talking about myself here. A lot of people think, let's talk about that for a second. Then a lot of people think I'm driven by money. They think, I look at that flash can, showing off. I've come from fuck all. I come from a broken family.
Yeah.
I've had nothing. If I had to get something, you'd have to work for it, right? Don't get me wrong. I come from beautiful parents, but it's not been easy, and it's not been easy for anyone. But I've had fuck all. So when I can afford to go buy a Rolls Royce, fuck me, I'm gonna put it on social media.
Yeah.
Not because I'm showing off. I just want to.
Yeah.
They're like, look at that dickhead. Well, fucking go and unfollow me then. Do you know what I mean?
Hey
They're like,
man, I post my Dodge Ram, so you post your Rolls Royce.
but it's like people don't realise I've worked incredibly hard.
Yeah.
That's what I work for. Oh, you're just. I used to be driven by money. Anyone listening to this, if you're a business owner, don't chase money. Chase the value.
Yeah.
Then you'll get paid. Money's a byproduct, right? When you're successful, you're going to have, and it's like now, right? I hide my wealth. I hide my cash flow. I hide certain things. Even with what I put on social media, there's still so much more in the background that I don't want to be that twat that's look at me in this car, look at me. But I like putting it out there. Do you know what I mean? Not. I want to inspire people. I want people to realise that I personally think everyone's being lied to in the UK. Let's listen to this and tell me I'm wrong. The UK government make you go to a school, and the aim is to pass the test.
100%.
So they teach you to pass a test. Yep. Once you pass the test, they fuck you up in the real world. There's no lessons on life, finance. I call it the school of life. Yep. And I've excelled in it. And I've got A levels. By the way, I've got no GCSEs or no official nothing whatsoever. And I couldn't really give a shit. But I generally think the world's fucked, especially in the UK. And I'm going to repeat that myself again. The government in the UK's educational system is they train and teach people how to pass a test.
Yep.
You pass the test, you get a gold star, off you fuck, onto the next one, off into the real world. But then what they then do is they prompt you into going to university. Go into university, but now listen to this. Now everyone listen to this, right? From a government point of view, they teach you to go to university. When you go to university, get in debt. What the fuck is that about? Most people that I know, I've got staff members that have been to uni that work for me. My brother, he's a bit of an idiot, by the way. We fell out at the death of my mother. But I don't want to go into that now. But he's a bit of an idiot, but I don't like talking about him. But he went to university. I remember when he left, he'd come to work for me. Yep. Funny that. He only done it for a short period of time. But no, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that going to university isn't wrong. right? But I'm saying it's not right. And I just don't understand it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's more so like it's not the wrong thing to do, but it's a lot of people go into it when they don't know what to do, and
Correct.
it's like this is the natural progression, and it's like you end up getting a load of debt, and then you come out of it and don't
Correct.
do anything with it.
And I'm sure it's great fun, right? You've all seen those. I've never been to university, I wouldn't know, but it sounds great fun. Student halls.
Oh man, I did.
Was you a uni student?
So I've got a degree in quantity surveying, weirdly. But I did all of the studying for none of the fun. I did it alongside a full-time job as well.
Oh, okay,
so
fair play to you.
Unfortunately, didn't get the fun bit of going to party and stuff.
Well, it's probably a good thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've got someone around me I call him Toby T. Shout out Toby T if you're listening. Excellent individual, young gentleman. He's worked for me now for 4 or 5 years. He went to university doing something to do with psychology and football and stuff like that. But Toby's very, very intelligent, and he's been brought up fantastically. And he was working. I think he comes to my house every Tuesday, stays over. And I love my time with Toby T. I call him Toby T. He's my head of due diligence. He does everything unique. And he has a huge career ahead of him. And he always will work for me until I die. But no, the point I'm trying to make is he told me a story. I was like, you in debt? And when I was working in the subway while I was there. I was like, that's really smart. I've got someone else that works for me called Seb. He's at uni at the moment. He works for me because he doesn't want to go get student loans. And he's doing property. And his dream job was to do something like this, not being an estate agent. And he works for me. So anyway, there's nothing wrong with going to university, but you've got to look at other stuff out there as well. You're not going to you can't leave a school. Let's say you can't leave school and be an entrepreneur. You can, but stuff isn't going to happen overnight. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want to do. But yeah, hope that helps.
Yeah, of course, man. I really appreciate it. So, quick fire questions.
Go on.
Quick questions, quick answers.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, you touched on this very briefly, but take me back. What were you like growing up? Very quickly.
What was it like growing up?
Yeah. What were you like as a kid? Give me a 5 or 10 word answer.
Scattered all over the place. I come from a good background. I can't remember a lot of it when I was young. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't remember a lot. I have vague memories. Yep. They were good and happy and stuff like that. I got to a certain age and my parents split up and life just went a bit wrong from there.
Cool. And for people listening, any entrepreneurs that are just getting into business or maybe they've just made their first 100 grand, whatever that might be, what's the biggest piece of advice that you could give them from your experience?
Making money is easy. Keeping hold of it is more challenging. People around you will try and take that money, whether it's suppliers or people trying to sell you shit. Have a business plan, stick to it. Don't let people try and sell you stuff that you don't need. Lots of people out there talk shit and sell you stuff you don't need. Like I said, making money is easy. Keeping hold of it's harder. Have a good accountant.
Amazing. And what's next for Lewis Hall? What's the next big step?
So I will never sell myself, and I call it selling myself to the devil. So in the industry I come from, a lot of people pretend they're successful, then jump on a stage and sell themselves, sell training courses, etc., etc., etc. I will never do that. However, there is something that I'm launching to help entrepreneurs and business owners achieve the things that I've achieved. Not like a training course, not like educational, but there's something very, very, very unique coming out, and I believe you're involved in it.
I love that. Yeah, definitely something exciting. I think we'll probably keep our mouths zipped for now.
I'll shut up. But outside of that, we're bringing Unique to Dubai, and we already did bring Unique to Dubai, but now it's official and it's out there. We're going to continue to grow Unique Property Group in the UK. Our aim is to have 25,000 units under management, and we have a £100 million target to get to in terms of our wealth, and that's liquid.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Thank you very much.
Buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Well done, man.
Well, that was sick.